So you can probably take a wild guess of what I'm working on. So yeah, that's what I've been doing the last couple of days is wiring fun. So yeah, we got, I'm really cleaning up a lot of the harness from the other car. I kind of took it all out, laid it all on my table here, and just kind of going through it and wrapping up the ends with some nice cloth tape and using all of the split loom here for the, you know, just to make it more tidy and all that. And you can see all the coils. We got all this all tidied up nice, and just trying to make everything better. And got some of the wiring in here done too. It's a bit of a mess, but you know, when you're wiring, that's what happens. You just have to explode it and then start going through each system and hooking it up. So we got our carbon fiber panel from the other car in here, and I'm starting to hook this all up. I'm actually going to be changing this little fuse block here. I bought a different one that has 12 circuits in it. So instead of and it also has a ground bus, which is kind of cool. So before I was just using 2 of these. These are just your basic automotive store little fuse block, and I don't know, they're just kind of cheesy. And the one I ordered is going to have lugs on it with so you can put ring terminals on you know, each output instead of these slide connectors, which I don't really like the way they look or how they secure. But anyway, got the ECU mounted up back in there, and we have our ground block here that goes all the way to the battery, and the other one up there that goes to the battery as well. So yeah, we're running the ground and power all the way to the front. So, but anyway, in this video, I'm gonna kind of switch gears from messing with the electrical, because we got in from Team Z the final piece of the puzzle for the rear suspension. So let me see if I can find something to cut this open with. So yeah, we got this in for the upper torque box. This is the, we were waiting on this. It was, I guess it was on back order, or I don't know what. They were waiting on some tubes, I guess, for it. But anyway, it came about a week after everything else, so. So, yeah, this looks really nice. Look at those welds. Yeah, it's packed pretty good. You know, Team Z is not known for their packing, but this one is pretty good. No parts strewn everywhere. There is a bolt just laying in here in the package. I don't know what that's for, but it must have fallen out of this package here. But yeah, everything's pretty good. So we went with the upper torque box that's got the anti-roll bar, you know, built into it. Okay, so you can see here it's got tabs welded on it for the anti-roll. So I kind of wanted to do that because I knew it would be aligned perfect, and I didn't want to have to try to cut out the UPR anti-roll I have in the other car. I thought it'd be easier just to do it this way instead of butchering that car up. I'll just leave it on that car, you know, for the future. So, but anyway, let me get this out of here, and we'll get it kind of slid up in there. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to go about squaring it up, making sure that it's square in the back of the car, because that's important. Okay guys, so I'm up under the car here, and I got everything kind of set in place, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make sure that it's square. Okay, so what I did was, so Team Z's upper mounts, they're like radiuses, okay? So what you want to do is you want to drop the mount all the way to the bottom on both sides, okay? And then get yourself a plumb bob, okay? Basically just a string with a weight on it. You know, I just put a little weight on there. Move this out of the way. There, and then one here as well. And just make sure that you have this spacer all the way to this side. Because this side here is fixed. So you want to move this all the way over to here so you know your string is the same in the same spot here as it is here. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're gonna run a string between the hole, okay, of your lower control arm mount from one side to the other, and you're gonna get that tight, okay? So this is just wrapped around here so I could tighten it up, you know. I use this to kind of stretch it to make this very tight, okay? So now we know we have the center, or the back of the center. It's basically a fixed point on the lower control arm mount, okay? So we know where that is, and the string goes all the way across, okay? And we know we're in the same spot here, here, and it's all the way to the bottom. Now you don't want to have this like up here because, like I said, there's an arc. So if you move this around, you know, it's going to change the distance, because what we're trying to do is measure the distance from this line to this line. Okay, and that's going to tell us if we're the upper box is square to the lower mounts. Okay, you following me? Because if they're not square, what's going to happen is you're going to have your one side of your control arm is going to have to be longer than the other in order to make up for it. And if that happens, then when your suspension moves, you're going to get like a bump steer. It's going to move the back of the housing, and it's going to steer the car. So it's very important to get this square, okay? We do have it pretty close to level here. I have it pretty close to what I have the car set at. Okay, it's like 0.4, 0.3, and this is like 0.5, 0.6. So it's extremely close. So we know that this bar is level with the chassis, and we know that these points are all set up right. So let's go ahead and measure it and see what we come up with. And you want to keep your tape measure level too. You don't want your tape measure to be this way or this way because you'll get a wrong reading. So if I just come over here and I just touch the line, just touching the string, I'm getting, if y'all can see that, 10 1/4. Okay, I'm getting 10 1/4 there. And come over, we'll just touch the string. And it's exactly 10 1/4. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't just throw this up in here and it was perfect. I had to use some clamps, okay, and basically a rubber mallet, okay, and you're just gonna like tap it until you get it right here, tap it here, until you get it to where you have the same distance between here and here and here and here. So now I know that this mount, okay, is square with the bottom of the I don't know why I can't say that, but the bottom of the lower pickup point on your lower control arm. Okay, so that's basically the idea. And you can also you can triangulate it too. That's a little tougher because there's really nowhere to go off of. You know, it's kind of hard to get your square tape measure here to get a good measurement from, it's hard to get your tape measure to get a good measurement from, say, here, the corner, up to your line, because you don't know where you're going to be. So it's a little more difficult to do. I mean, you can do it, but to me, that's not as important. About 27.5 there. And same here, about 27.5. Okay, and I'm just coming up to the bottom of this mount, and it's hitting right around 27.5, and it was the same over here. So yeah, we know we're square. We know that this is the same distance, this is the same distance. So when we adjust our control arms, we know they're going to be the same. Okay, we don't have to worry about the housing being crooked or anything like that. So yeah, so you know, once you get that set, you get your clamps on there. Make sure it's real tight and go ahead and tack it, you know, wherever you have nice flat spots. So you have a nice flat spot here. We have a pretty good flat spot here and a pretty good little flat spot here that we can go ahead and tack it. And then what you're going to do after that is remove your clamps, come back with a, you know, with a regular hammer and just kind of massage it a little bit to get, you know, because you have a pretty good gap here. So I'm going to come back in and just kind of massage it to you know, tap it in closer to the frame rail so that it's a little easier to weld and not such a gap. This is pretty much what you're gonna have to do no matter what, because no frame rail is gonna be perfect, okay? No frame rail is, you know, these cars have been driven for how long? 30 years, bumps and all kinds of stuff, that everything gets tweaked in these cars. Nothing is straight. So you're pretty much having to go off of, you know, just the mounting the holes. And wherever this lands is where it lands. As you can see, like this hangs off a little bit here, a little bit more than here. But I'm not worried about that because I know that it's square to the lower control arm mounts. So I'm not gonna try and, don't square it to the rail, square it to the mounts. Okay, if that makes sense. So let me go ahead and tack this in, and yeah, we'll move on from there. Pretty simple little deal. I mean, this is an easy way to do it. And so I do like the way the Team Z designs this, because, you know, let's say you're at the track and you wanna make a instant center adjustment. You can just come in here and move this, okay? You don't have to readjust the length of your arms. So on the other torque boxes that are on the market, they have holes that are, you know, a hole here, then a hole back here, then a hole up front, and then a hole in the back. So if you move one spot, you have to lengthen your control arm, okay? So now, did you do that right? Did you get the exact spot you need? Or do you have to go back and realign your pinion angle and all that? So that's why I really like this design, how that works. And yeah, so we got the, also have the anti-roll mount here that we're gonna use, and we have the anti-roll bar for that. Oh, and I did weigh this too, out of the box, 14.5 pounds exactly. And coincidentally, that's about what the original torque box weighed, okay? When I cut it out and put it in a pile, I kind of weighed everything, and it was around 15 pounds. So it's about the same as what your, you know, stock box is, and this is gonna be way stronger. So let me go ahead and get this tacked in, and we'll move on. So we got it tacked in 4 places, and I remeasured it, and yeah, everything looks really good. So I'm not going to show, like, let me get out from underneath the car first. Turn that off so it's not so loud, and we'll just finish this video up. I'm not going to show like welding the whole thing because you've seen that before. So, but anyway, the most important part is getting it square in the chassis. You know, there's not much like to it. It's kind of, don't overthink it. Just make sure you're square with the bottom holes, and you should be good to go. Like I said, I'm going to come back and kind of maybe try to close this gap up a little bit with the hammer, just to, you know, get it kind of massaged so that I can get a good bead right through there and on the other side. But other than that, I mean, it looks really good. So yeah, so the next thing will be is to get the rear end out of the other car and start working on that. And I just wanted to thank Jay. He is a subscriber, watches my videos. Gave me a good deal on the bearings and the housing ends for the 8.8 to do the 9-inch ends. So that was cool. Appreciate that. But what I do need to do is kind of like figure out exactly what I'm going to do as far as the brakes go, because all the brake, you know, the brake mount that I have on the 8.8 in this car is totally different. So I'm gonna have to call up Willwood and see if they can sell me just the bracket so that I can mount my calipers to those ends. And I think I should be able to get that no problem. Hopefully I don't have to like modify it or anything like that. But I think they do sell just the individual stuff to, you know, when you're upgrading like that. So, but anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you all learned something on squaring up that upper torque box. And it looks like a really nice piece. I'm really happy with it. And it was definitely worth the wait. So, but anyway, that's gonna do it, guys. I will check you all next time.